Okay. I'll start ish, and then we're gonna go from there. All right. Don't say anything, anyone. The green box is still on me. Welcome everyone to the Comedy Driven Life vodcast thing for another episode with our people. Introduce everyone. Okay. Andy, say hello.
Hi, Toby. It's me, Andy Kind. I'm really happy to be there. What's the weather like?
Dan, tell us what the weather's like.
Well, up here in the North Pole, it's a bit chilly, but actually in southern England, it's quite warm and mild. Hello, I'm Dan.
Double answer.
I did that the other wrong way around, didn't I?
Yeah. Let's find out who else we got. Paul, would you like to say hello?
Hello. Yes, it's very exciting and an honour to be with you for the first, last, and the best ever comedy-driven life that I've ever been part of. So thank you for that.
What an ultimatum. Thanks. Tandy, would you like to say anything else?
Anything else?
Perfect. Well done. And finally, Phil.
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all. I'm just looking forward to what this evening might bring to one and all.
What we did was, before, obviously, we messaged almost everyone about what the theme was going to be, which was about being, merry. Phil's gone for that.
Yeah.
They're real baubles.
They're real baubles, that's good.
Yeah, they're kind of cutting quite a lot into the skin around the ear. But when I see my daughter do it, I thought, well, I could probably do that, forgetting that my ears are ever so slightly larger than hers. Specifically for trees.
Oh, they are for trees.
Yeah.
You've taken a liberty. Okay, great.
Yes.
You look like you didn't quite get the role as the extra in Last Christmas, the George Michael video from '85, Phil.
And I'm still sore about that as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be merry.
In fact, you actually look like, and I mean this as a compliment, you actually look like you could reform Wham all by yourself.
I couldn't find a Christmas hat, so I repurposed this jumper.
That is
sweet.
Incredible. So, not much payoff unless we keep saying, "Oh, Tandy, what's that behind you?"
Well, that's very panto, isn't it? The whole "it's behind you" thing. So that works.
On the Last Christmas front, when he says the next day he gave it away, and the next year to save him from tears, he'll give it to someone special. He doesn't mention how he gets it back again before he then gives it away to someone else the following year.
Maybe it's to be heard in conjunction with Phil Collins's Two Hearts, Living in Just One Mind. So he has one heart he gives away, and then the second heart, like Doctor Who, he'll have for next year.
Oh, that's fair enough, yes.
I think that, the Phil Collins and George Michael, it's kind of, they inhabit the same universe. I think they're part of the same extended universe. It's just called the universe, like the same one that we're in.
They do. That's true. Yeah.
I always thought it would be the MCU, but it would be the musical Christmas universe.
There we go. What is important? What is your favourite Phil Collins song of all time? Favourite? What's the weather like there? What's your favourite Phil Collins?
The one in the Cadbury's advert with the gorilla suit.
Yes,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I don't know the name.
I like the one where he sings in the tunnel. I don't know what it's called, but it sounds like he's in a tunnel.
Oh, yeah, the one he sounds like, yes, the same one. With the drum kit, and then when he's that
That's
one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's the one about the drowning, isn't it? And
In the Air Tonight.
In the Air Tonight. That's the one.
Right.
Which is also the gorilla drumming.
It sounds very similar to the one in the Cadbury's advert with the.
He only has one song.
You're both wrong, though. Like, you're both wrong. That's not the best Phil Collins song. Dan, what do you think?
Anything off the Buster soundtrack, I think.
The answer is Easy Lover. The answer is Easy Lover.
Yes.
Though technically it's not credited to Phil Collins.
It's Philip Bailey and Phil Collins.
Yeah. So, we could have thought you meant what is the best song solely by Phil Collins.
Okay, well, no, I said what's the best Phil Collins song? Let me repeat the name.
Tarzan.
Let me repeat the name of the song, Phil, and see if you can hear Phil Collins' name anywhere in this title. Easy Lover by Philip Bailey and Phil Collins. Do you want me to read it again? Shall I have another go?
One more time.
Okay.
I feel like I've got to a very, very, very aggressive pub quiz.
You have.
And I've been subjected to a question that is clearly personal, but only to the quizmaster. A bit like every pub quiz, actually. It's just a normal pub quiz. Sorry, I shouldn't have.
Have you ever been to any of those like really parochial pubs, like where there's a pub quiz on, you didn't know about it, but you're in the middle of nowhere, so you just stay, and like question number 1 is like, what are you looking at? I was like, what are you looking at? Question number 2 is like, what did Barney eat for dinner? And just Barney's at the bar looking really smug because he's finally got a bit of affirmation and attention.
You know, I once went on a date to a pub quiz, and it just happened to be the pub quiz was the exact same pub quiz that clearly this brewery just sends out to the pub quiz I'd done 3 days before with some friends. So on the day, I looked like the most intelligent person in the universe because I knew all of the answers, and then we won a tenner. So it was,
Wow. That same scenario could happen to me, but I just wouldn't have paid attention to the first one. So my friends would get all excited, and then they'd just be like, "Oh."
You know, I still didn't get 4 marks. I should have listened more. But I got a couple of ones that no one else would have done. So it worked out. But apart from the day, it did not work out.
You do look. You do still look very clever, though, Paul, with your backdrop there. You look like the biblical scholar that BBC News unearth when they find a new inscription buried in the desert somewhere.
Yeah.
We now go over to Dr. Paul Kerensa from his house in Surrey. Dr. Paul, what do you think about this new inscription on a gravestone that they found dug under Jerusalem, which claims to prove once and for all that Jesus Christ is Lord? What's your opinion on that, Paul?
My opinion is, look at my books. Look how erudite I clearly am. What we have here is we have over this side, these are cookbooks. Over this side, it's reference. Down here, your books are here, and these are books by people I know. They're down there. And then up here, that's the Christian bookshelf. All the Christian books are up there.
Andy's in a separate section. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, he's not Christian. All of these, I own all of these children. I own all of them. That's my collection.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've also gone with the Father Christmas beard just hanging from the...
Clearly, that's... Although I didn't get the memo, I was clearly guessing that what you wanted me to do was dress my bookshelf as Father Christmas. So that's what I've gone for,
Yeah, that's great. I'm just looking through my material, my Christmas material that I wrote earlier.
Now that's a fun book.
Paul Kerensa, what's your favourite Christmas joke that you tell? Like, what's the joke that when it gets to kind of November 30th, you think, great, I can bring this one out again?
I don't actually have any Christmas jokes, which is unfortunate given I do so many Christmas shows. But hang on a second. There we go. Right, there we go. We've got matching. There you go.
Hey.
Is that in the Christian section or in the people that you know section?
The cookbooks. This is the cookery section. There's a large section in this book about cookery. I would tell this book. I've deliberately kept this one back because it's printed wrongly, so all of the pages sort of open on that bit. So look, you can't actually. Well, not all of them, but you can't. It'll turn 10 pages at a time. So unsaleable. You know, I'm sure. Andy, do you found in your books that whenever you get some of them just don't work? Like I've had books printed upside down.
Interestingly, and this wasn't a setup, I know, but is the case. So this is my new book, Fictoids, which I have written with my friend Pete Hawkins, another one of the SGCS, and we had it self-published. And unfortunately, like on the back, you can see truth is stranger than fiction, but it says truth is stranger, thank fiction, which is not what I sent off.
No.
It's one thing to miss an error. It's another thing to put one in. So I'm having to get some adhesive stickers, and I cannot sell this in good conscience now because it makes me feel sick. The idea that there's a glaring mistake, it makes me look like an idiot.
Do you know what that looks like? I'll tell you what it looks. I don't know if you can see this. It looks a little like going topical here now. This picture that did the rounds on the social media.
Yes.
I am a free. I am not man. A number. Yeah, it looks like someone sort of got the message. But I'm just going to change the words around a little bit just to make it kind of like a code word from the Second World War. It's quite
I think, Andy, though, if you're doing selling that after a live event, if you just try and slip the phrase "thank fiction" into what you've said, as if it's like a well-known phrase, by the time people buy the book, they'll have heard it that many times, it'll just become like...
Yeah.
It's almost going to be an expletive, though. I mean, that's the first thing that you're hearing. Thank fiction for that.
Yeah.
And truth is, stranger.
Thank fiction, it's a novel.
It could be truth is, stranger.
Yeah. It just makes me feel sad that I have to now. It's not like I've ordered 1,000. Oh yes, I have. I've got 1,000 of them.
Thank fiction.
Thank fiction.
It's Friday.
Tandy's crazy questions.
Thank you. If you had to stay in a tent with 5 aliens for 10 days, what book would you take to read them if it meant that the book would influence their personalities for the better?
Wow.
5 aliens, 10 days.
One shot.
I haven't got my calculator, but is it 7?
The fact it looks like you've read that question directly out of Paul's book.
That's right. It's an odd
I didn't write that question. That's not one of mine. That's
not that you know of.
I know. You've got to read between the lines for that bit.
As Andy's just shown us, publishers can add all sorts of things.
That's true.
The truth is, we just wrote the same looking book. This is my one that I wrote
I see.
before. So it looks the same. It almost looks like it's got your name on it, but...
It does. The Christmas part of the bookshelf up here, can you see this up here? And I'm going to go for A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. That's my suggestion for a book to influence aliens for the better. Is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. There you go.
Perfect.
That's my more serious answer.
Can I ask a question, a kind of qualifying question, Tandy, about which book I would take that would benefit them? These aliens, do you think these aliens are grateful for fiction? Because if they are, I think I have. Perfect. I would take Fictoids by Andy Kind and Pete Hawkins. If you can't stop gushing to fiction, then really you're in for a treat.
You could teach them the catchphrase, couldn't you? And then it would be planet-wide. It would be universal.
Thank fiction.
Thank fiction, truth is stranger.
They might start worshipping fiction as a god.
I'm worried a little if Paul, if we were to introduce our version of reality to these aliens with A Christmas Carol, that starts off very weird.
Oh, it does. Yes, indeed. I mean, were you thinking they're going to start to take it literally and start thinking, so this Marley was dead to begin with, and then they start to believe that humans come back on a regular basis, that maybe they think that it's every day is Christmas. Maybe this is, and then they start to relate back to Wham. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah.
And then Gonzo turns up.
He's not in the original. He's not in the book. That's just to make it quite clear.
Right.
Yeah.
But Rat is.
Yeah.
There is a rat, I think. I think that's what the Cratchits have for dinner, I think.
Right.
I used to live in a house that had Charles Dickens painted in it, I think. He didn't paint, did he? I think he was the one being painted.
Do you think he ever painted one of the walls? Is that what you're referring to?
He did. He posed nude for GQ, didn't he, at one point, I think?
Across the road from me, I found out just the other day, Boris Karloff was born in my chippy.
Wow.
Is that Boris Johnson's real name?
It's his spy name.
It's fine.
But nobody's allowed to know that.
Okay. They should have changed both names. He should have changed both names. It's
Could
too
have been
obvious.
Morris Karloff.
Also, if we were to suggest that these aliens had Christmas Carol as their main thing, and then later on they get introduced to Christmas, and we say, let's now sing some Christmas carols. Marley was dead. I don't know how to put that in.
Well, you
And
know,
that's the solo. That's the little kid doing the solo.
well, even more confused. You know, in A Christmas Carol, they're not called chapters; they're called staves or stanzas. You know, to make it like it is a carol, like it is a song. So that's even more confusing for them. Do you know there's the one carol that is in A Christmas Carol? There's one carol. This is a pub quiz question for you.
Carol Vorderman.
I was going to go with
It's
that.
in the-
There's no other famous carols.
No, that's
No,
it.
it's famous, yeah.
You're racing through now. Carol Burnett. She's not famous enough for the joke to work.
Sausage Carol.
Sausage Carol. I
Sausage,
don't know the Sausage Carol. How does that one go?
sausage carousel.
That's the name of one of the aliens.
Why 5 aliens? Why are there 5 aliens in this?
They're in a boy band.
Oh. So they've got more to learn, morally speaking.
I go with H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds. We may not have big guns. We may not look like we've got big guns, but you better watch it. Don't get ideas above your station. Otherwise,
Guitar
I'll wave my
music.
finger. Mm.
Oh.
Good.
Joy to the World. Is it Joy to the World, Paul?
Oh no, it's not. Sorry, no, it's not. No, it's. Shall I tell you the? Well, I'm going to tell you the answer. Can't remember. It's in the book.
God
Silent
rest
Night.
you merry gentlemen. It's God rest you merry
It is.
gentlemen.
It is.
No.
God rest the merry gentlemen.
No,
hang on.
it's Good Christian Soldiers.
No.
It's God rest ye.
Spencer's
Merry-
last.
No, it's Once in Royal David City.
No,
It's God rest
it's
you
not.
merry
It is God rest you merry gentlemen. It's Toby.
Guess we'll
No,
never-
no, it's Jingle Bells, Batman Smells.
There's only one legal carol.
Oh, in the 18th century, that was while shepherds watched, wasn't it?
Correct.
It's the only biblical
Legal-
carol. It's all the others
legal?
aren't biblical.
The only biblical carol.
But all the others at the time weren't that biblical. Like, I saw 3 ships come sailing in. You know, not in Bethlehem. You didn't. It's inland, innit?
Yeah. Vorderman again, not that biblical.
No,
Yeah.
very,
Is it
very
complete
unbiblical.
midwinter? Because it definitely wasn't in winter. Yes, yeah. I see what you.
Yeah.
Jerusalem would be a much better hymn if it went, and did those feet in ancient times? No, they didn't. Yeah, it'd be over quicker. Sit down again, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Just get it over with.
That's what I think about all hymns. Get them over with. Yeah, you're right. That's the abiding thing of all
Yeah.
of all hymns. Move on.
That's why Joy to the World's so good, because it's at max four verses, but you can get away with 3, and the verses are really short. Boom, done. Had
It's
Joy to the
efficient.
World.
It is
It's an efficient, gets the message across. I had Joy to the World at my wedding.
Was it a Christmas wedding?
No, it was Maybank holiday.
Well, Joy to the World is an Easter song, of course, isn't it? It's not a Christmas. You think of a Christmas song nowadays, but it was written for Easter.
Do you know what? We've missed a trick a little bit in the churches where you do stand up, sit down with the hymns. Musical chairs. That for the ones that have got rid of the pews, that could be like an added bit of joy to the world, couldn't it?
But they could have got rid of the pews during a hymn.
Yeah.
So those people reluctant to get rid of the pews, you could actually persuade them by going, look, as we get rid of them, we'll have a bit of fun and have some musical pews. And then you can have a bit of a game as well. And then you turn around and go, oh, they've all gone, and bring in the new chairs.
You say we're in a tent, Tandy?
Yes, we're in a tent.
I
I'm going to
refuse.
start rushing you for answers soon because I've got lots of other questions.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. I refuse to take part if we're in a tent. Hate tents. Let's move on.
Philip?
I'm just looking at the bookcase near me because, but the only book I can make out from here is Nokia cameras for dummies. It's got quite a distinctive spine. I can tell what it is. So yeah, I'd probably talk this through a camera I've never owned.
Okay.
Andy, we've lost you.
Only digitally.
I've lost your video.
I don't know what I've done.
You swiped across, probably, again.
I'm back.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Missed you.
Thank you. I had a good time. Anyway, in 200 years, how would you feel if people have made you into a doll?
Action figure or just a doll?
Oh, yeah.
Like stuffed you and made you into like a...
Oh, wow.
Like taxidermy?
Yeah, like taxidermy, yeah.
Like the at the end of the film Midsummer, the Swedish creepy horror film from last year.
John Nettles?
John Nettles, different Midsummer Murders. That's that one.
Yeah.
I was watching Midsummer, I think it's written, which is a freaky horror film. And
Horrible.
I was watching it over several nights when this whole lockdown situation suddenly kicked in. So
Wow.
as my diary emptied, as the new world became clear to us, I every night had to spend 10 minutes watching this freakish horror film. And it unsettled me even more, I would say. I think so. But
It's
partly
a
also
really,
because-
really...
Did you have to finish watching it though?
Well, I sort of
You
felt
do.
I had to. And also I was on the end of an Amazon Prime free trial. So I was like, I've got 4 days to watch this and then that's it. It's got to go. I don't want to pay £8 for this. And you look at it and go, oh, at least they got to go out. So there was a bit of a benefit, you know. You felt a bit jealous at the end, you know.
Yeah.
We've been rewatching Walking Dead because we suggested it to Andy. And so we've been watching it again from the beginning. So good.
What you don't know about Walking Dead, a lot of it was filmed next year.
Oh, yeah.
I've been watching quite a lot of like Back to the Future, Bill and Ted, just to kind of get with this will get fixed by time travel. That's the only way.
Yeah.
And,
So that's
Andy,
what you're
just-
putting your hope in. You know, forget the vaccine. You're looking to scientists to go, stop focusing on the vaccine, invent time travel. That's what they need to be.
That is going to sort it out.
Are you,
Time bandits. We need time bandits.
How does that work with 12 Monkeys? Because isn't 12 Monkeys a time travelling one all about a virus? And I can't
Yeah.
remember how that ends.
But then humanity all died in 1997, according to that. Probably too late.
We made it. We made it.
Yeah.
We made it.
Up yours, 12 Monkeys. Thank fiction.
No, thanks. It works.
Toby, are you not starting to lose patience with future Toby for not just turning up in a telephone box and saving you?
Future me, I don't know, that guy can worry about other things. London has essentially, and I live in central London, London has essentially returned back to normal. So there's just traffic everywhere, all the bus stops are packed, everyone's on the streets all the time. Unlimited outside time is just, it's
No lockdown, isn't it?
it's just like as if it's gone, as if as if we don't need to. I'm stuck at home anyway. Work doesn't want me to go back to an office.
Do they
Is
not
that
like
personal or...
Well, I just kind of, I didn't keep in touch and I think they've forgotten about me. Yeah, maybe future Toby fixed it, but left me at home. And I need to go and have a word with him tomorrow.
So, is there going to be? Is it really that bad in London? People are just kind of swanning around now.
Yeah, just like it's just like nothing, just like it's all back to, the first couple of weeks of lockdown when everyone wasn't really taking it seriously. Yeah, very similar to that.
Well, that second wave's going to come fast then.
Mm.
I think so.
Who's behaving the same? Who's behaving the same? We're just acting the same as we were before, like pretty much just the same, not
The
going
same
out much.
as,
Yeah.
Same as like before they relaxed the restrictions. It just feels weird to go back to normal, doesn't it?
yeah, I like this new normal.
Yep.
I've got really comfy in my chair.
I got a question though, Toby. If you've seen what Central London's like, then you're clearly going out to see what it's like. So, are you the ringleader of all of these big gatherings?
Interesting.
I want them all. I won't ask Tandy to cut that. I'm not going to say it. Occasionally.
Now I want you to say it.
Occasionally, I have to be
say the thing.
outside because I need to take the rubbish out. And
I assume he's got windows as well. Like you can see.
Not in central London.
no,
No?
we don't have windows.
Pay extra for windows.
We don't. So It's all Mac round here. Maybe, Paul, what you're accusing me of, which is entirely true, is I'm not really helping. I'm not shouting at anyone policing the thing.
No, I was merely being flippant. You're helping, I'm sure, by protesting at their public demonstrations, by just being at home, and that they'll get the message. They'll go, "Where's Toby? Why are we all here when Toby's at home?" They'll realise that.
Well, as the only other Londoner to spit at this point, I would say that's clearly north of the river behaviour, because down south here we're all still behaving ourselves.
That must be a south thing, yeah, because down south where we are, we've been very good with the lockdown rules. We've been breaking other rules, though. I put some hot ashes in the bin the other day. Just
Wow.
I need a cool rider. A cool rider. Sorry, I just felt like singing "Cool Rider" when you said that, Dan.
Wow.
You're the real bad boy of the UK.
And we should have drive-in cinemas in this country. We don't really have them.
We should. Well, there is a comedian who's looking at doing drive-through comedy clubs, isn't he? Tom Bantz is looking to finance this whole drive-in comedy experience that will tour around cities of the country. That's the plan.
Wow.
And can I just say, on a slightly personal self-indulgence, I was the support act for Tom Binns' national tour till this lockdown happened, and now he doesn't have a support act. So thank you very much, no one.
Were you going to do it then, Andy?
Yes, I was going to do half of the ones that he offered me. So I was going to go to all these, but Lincoln, Norwich, Worcestershire. I was really looking forward to it because Tom Binns lives 1.5 miles from me. He lives in Chesterfield. He's really close to me. So
he also
honestly, like
steals
1.5 miles
from the local German restaurant.
He's never been to Einstein's. He's been to Coffee Street, the coffee shop that I was going to until lockdown happened. So now I can't buy a coffee shop. My life is going really, really well.
Thank fiction.
Yes.
I'm going to move on to the next question because none of you really picked that one up. By the way, like some cultures do stuff their relatives and keep them in the house because they're afraid. Yeah.
Sorry.
They're afraid that if they don't treat their dead relative well, then their spirit will haunt them or something.
Yeah.
Who are they?
I think I'd feel more haunted by someone if I had to see them in my house every single day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So the idea of calling it a doll as well suggests you're sort of giving your sort of relatives to your children to play with or something as well.
Yeah.
Who's scooping them out as well? Who's doing the scooping out?
Well, that's why I wanted it to be an action figure. Like, if I could be an action figure in 200 years' time, that'd be great. My catchphrase, what would my catchphrase be? Pull the ring back, and then it would just be, my name, it's Toby.
Could you do the Tandy's questions jingle?
Yeah. Tandy's questions. And just one of them could just be a really long, awkward pause, but no words.
Has the pause finished yet? I don't know. Pull it again. I'm going to mark it that Toby's action figure.
Right, Kevin Bacon has called you. You get really excited before you realise the chips are down and he's going to blackmail you. What is this about?
It's about bacon and chips by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Basically, I'll tell you what this is about.
I knew you'd know.
Basically, I didn't rate Footloose, and I reviewed it on my blog, which gets quite a good number of hits actually, 9 or 10 hits most years, and he didn't like it. He didn't like my review, but I also went digging and I scooped him out like the body of an ancestor, and I found out that actually he's not doing his real dance moves. It was actually Wayne Sleep who did the dance moves for Kevin Bacon in Footloose, and I know this. I found this, and he tried to stop me, but it's too late. I've already seen everything, and now he tries to blackmail me because he wants, you know what he's like. It's like, oh, I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer. He wants everyone to know he's a dancer. Like if you're with him socially or going around Asda he'll be like, "Oh, I'm a dancer." It's like children who don't know he is walking down the aisle, just trying to buy some yogurt. Children, I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer. And so it's a big thing socially for him. Is that he's made an idol of it actually. So that's what it's about essentially. He's blackmailing me, and I will not be moved. I will not be moved.
I looked into his educational past, and he actually doesn't have 6 degrees. He's just got 1 actually, and even that was drama school. So he's not quite as qualified as he claims to be.
But not dance.
No, not dance. No. Straight acting. Yeah, that's it. But he's living a lie.
He didn't like me when I called him on the fact that just because your internet's faster with 4G doesn't make the gigabyte last longer.
Interestingly, Paul, what is interesting about the 6 degrees of separation is when we had Fred Armisen on the show, we realised, all of us, that we are now only 2 degrees of separation away from most people who are on TV in America, which is like really, really weird.
Well, it means I'm now 3 degrees away from these people because I'm now meeting you, good folks. So
Exactly.
This is very exciting.
Just to be clear, we have met you before.
You know, a dull version of me, if we want.
Does it really count if it's not on Zoom these days?
Nothing counts unless it's been recorded and put in a podcast.
What would your dull catchphrase be if you had a string to pull? What would your catchphrase be, Paul?
Oh, I think probably actually, yeah. All my back would be. Yeah.
That's good.
Andy really enjoyed that one.
Good night, everybody. There you can't top it. There you go.
I mean, for me, it's that I found out that Kevin Bacon actually is with Vodafone.
Yeah.
Shocker. That is a shocker.
Yeah. He really doesn't want people to know that.
Yeah. And what would your catchphrase be, Phil?
Something like, Ulster says no. One of the classics. You know, I actually came up with that one. That's so bad. Of all the things I can go into my mind and pull out, that's what came up. I mean,
mine would be maybe it's Maybelline. That's probably the thing I say the most.
I was expecting you to say something like, thank fiction.
No, that'd be too obvious. No, I say maybe it's Maybelline, but I don't say it in that kind of jocular questioning way that they do on the advert. I am very aggressive when I say it.
A demonstration, please. A demonstration.
Demonstrate now, like you're recording it for the actual action figure.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Great.
Paul, would you not have any of the Miranda catchphrases?
Well, I'd only have one that I'd written, and I don't think I wrote any of her catch. Nothing I've written for her has become a catchphrase. I don't think.
Two new ones.
Actually, I think she the Fruit Friends and the Vegetables. I wrote that stuff, and I think she started to try and use that as a catchphrase. Or it's not a catchphrase; it's a thing. It's a prop, really. Yeah, such fun and all that. That's all hers. All the such fun stuff. So good luck to her.
So your doll would be quite wacky if it just came out with that and all my back. Yeah.
It would be a bit weird, I think, if some of Paul's catchphrases were actually the voice of Miranda. That would just be...
Doesn't bear thinking about.
That's the clothing rack of shame there. That shows us all. There's several of those. I've not worn the card one, and I've not worn the psychedelic 60s one at the end yet.
So how many stag do's have you?
Oh, that doesn't include the electric blue one that I got married in either. That's not there. That's in the cupboard.
That's nice.
I wouldn't put that particular suit on the clothes rack of shame. That would
no. Some people might call it clothes rack of shame. It's the clothing rack of joy for me. So I like these. The Hawaiian one is a short sleeve and shorts suit jacket with tie. So like the jacket only goes up to your sort of elbows, so stay nice and cool in the summer.
I can't believe I didn't know about the Christmas. I've got all my
I'm
Christmas
so
stuff.
sorry.
in the
That's so
loft.
bad. And we did it.
I've got my ride on Santa. I've got several Santa hats. Nothing matches,
Go and
Dan's
get a
lovely
Santa
suit
hat.
collection. Well, they're all in the loft. I'll wake up the house.
I even put Christmas socks on.
We did it for you as well. We did it.
I
for you.
appreciate it.
Dedication.
I do appreciate it.
Look, Dan, what would Kevin Bacon be blackmailing you about?
He saw me putting hot ash in a bin, and he's gonna dob me into the council. So I'll be
more than 6 degrees.
Yeah, I'll be blacklisted then. The ash was more than 6 degrees.
How many questions do you have? This is a 100-question quiz.
100 questions. They're all super highbrow.
Funny enough, 3 days ago, I was at a quiz that had these exact same questions on it.
Really?
Lovely.
They do the rounds.
Is anyone merry yet?
No, I don't drink. Who do you think the merriest men of all time were?
Maid Marian people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rabies, Little Ron.
Yeah.
That was
Why
excellent.
don't you carry on with what you're doing, etc.
Did Peter Pan have some merry men as well?
He had the Lost Boys.
Oh, Lost Boys, yeah, much more depressing.
I think they were too young to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start merry, then you get lost.
Spiritually lost.
Nice.
That is it.
There is
Oh, wow.
the box set of all 4 seasons.
Wow.
I forced my kids to get.
I'll tell you who the merriest man ever was. That was Andy Kind episode 3, I think it was. the Jen Ives episode.
I don't want to talk about it. Jen, you fascinate me. You fascinate me, Jen.
No.
Yeah,
You shouldn't.
I don't want to talk about it. Jen, you still haven't added me on any of the mediums that I've contacted you on.
I don't have any of the mediums that you said. I've got WhatsApp.
I am at your door.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
Bye, Jen.
And she's gone. I'm going to kick everyone else out now.
Honestly, guys, I was so weird. Like I was like really, really weird. Look at Dad. He's like, yeah, you were. Why am I so close to the screen? I'm not very attractive. But look, listen to me, friends. Like, you are my best friends. I've produced the greatest piece of podcasting. I love you guys. Dan,
we can tell.
like I haven't spoken to you at all. Like,
You haven't. You only spoke to Jen, Andy.
your parents rang me up today and said they didn't love you.
So if you can pick that up again, carry on that character for Fred. That'd be amazing. Okay.
Can you imagine? What's the next question?
You hate one kind of computer game, but why? And would your opinion change if you had to be in it?
I'll tell you the computer game I hate. Or the kind of computer game I hate. And I bet I'm going to make a load of enemies now. But it's all the Call of Duty, Fortnite, Counter-Strike-esque games. Because I'm really rubbish at it. And everyone online is really good. And I die straight away. And that is it's just depressing. In fact, any game that you can play online, because everyone's better than me.
Well, it's because you don't practice, Toby.
But
Who's next?
Platform games. I hate platform games. And even if I was in one, I couldn't do jump here and jump. I can never jump properly and always fall down. Does my head in. Get rid of them.
Like Mario? Like original
No,
Mario?
like the Tomb Raider or all that kind of thing when you've got to jump about and you're just looking at someone's backside and get rid of them. I'm not I hate those games. I can never make the jump. And then it's just go back here, climb up here, do the jump again. No, I don't want to do the jump again.
Like a 3D platform.
Yeah. Even the 2D ones were stretching it a bit. You play a bit of Mario, maybe a bit of Sonic and that, just level 1. But
Love Mario.
So I don't play computer games. I haven't played anything since the mid-90s, I think. Doom, I think that sort of stuff was about where I came into. The only game I do currently play, I hate the one game and I hate it, and it's Words with Friends. Words with Friends. Would you rate us now? Yes, I will rate you. You are terrible. Because I want to just play Scrabble. I just want to do Scrabble. That's all it is. It's a lovely little Scrabble game. There you go. But you do a thing, and then it's suddenly got like awards and rosettes and congratulations. You opened a box of fireworks and things happen on for 30 seconds. I just want to move some tiles. I don't want the things to go with the things. And it gives you a choice of okay or no other choice. That's, you have to click the thing okay, and there's nothing to say that you don't. I just want tiles. Is that wrong? And in terms of if I were in the game, then I would be in the game pushing around tiles, and I'd be quite happy with that in my life.
What character would you be?
The letter Q, because I'm worth it.
But you could be an answer.
It could be an answer. That's very true. If my name were a word, but I don't know if Paul counts as a word.
True.
POOL, if you change the spelling.
That's true. Could do that.
Anyone else?
Driving games. I hate driving games.
Yes.
I drive already. I already drive.
Can I just? I want to pick up on Andy's point there. I absolutely detest driving games, apart from Mario Kart. I think it's because once you played a game where you are driving a car and you can throw shells at people, why would you want to play a car driving game where you cannot throw anything at anyone? It becomes extremely boring. And I can see some merit to if instead of a car, it was sort of me face down on the road, zooming along. That might bring some sort of joy to me in some way. But in general, no, even if I was in it, I can't imagine getting into a car driving game. Ridiculous.
Do you know, I've got a car driving game that I can play in the car using the steering wheel and the pedals.
While driving, or you pull over?
No,
Sounds very
you have
dangerous.
to be stationary. Yeah, you have to be stationary. Yeah,
You have to be stationary.
you have to be
to drive the
stationary
car.
to drive the car in the game.
I wonder if one of those cars has ever gone wrong and like someone's crashed into their own garage or some shopping centre or something just because they were pressing the accelerator really hard.
But it just sounds like, you know, when you were a kid and you said, "Oh, Dad, can I pretend to drive?" And he'd go, "Yeah, sure." And then you accidentally let the handbrake off and rolled back down the drive into the, you know, the busy road. That a bit like that.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You've accidentally injected your best friend with what?
Disinfectant.
What is Donald Trump? Butter. Molten butter.
Ooh.
I was thinking of like that sort of marshmallow you get in Tunnock's tea cakes.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Hit me with that.
I wonder what that would do when it reaches your heart.
Bring joy.
Andy's been distracted by something. Someone's got one laser and put it on the wall like a laser pen.
Yeah, and there's a guy asking me if my name is Sarah Connor. So,
Thank you. Gosh, I thought you sounded really far away.
I shouldn't sound far away because the microphone's still close to me, but...
Okay.
You sound closer, but maybe it's just an optical illusion. If I was to inject my friend with something, I'd probably inject them, you know, with a collection of books or something, just to keep them company while they were being injected. You know, maybe a collected work of Dickens or Dostoevsky, something, you know, meaningful, so that they're not lonely while they're being injected on, you know, because it's quite a long journey, I guess. If you're going to be injected anywhere, you don't want to go it alone, do you? Do you?
Wow.
I'm sensing at this point we should all quietly log off and just leave Toby to his thoughts.
I'd inject them with a tiny scientist in a submarine, like in that film In Space.
Dennis Quaid, the Quaidster.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
There's no reason that Dennis Quaid couldn't be hidden inside the marshmallow contents of a Tunnock's tea cake, though.
Oh.
A bit more difficult to navigate, be more sticky if it was in, wrapped up in a.
Do you know that's a very very good question, a very good answer, because I reckon one of the worst things to put in if you're making a pit trap for someone to fall into, you don't do water because people can tread water. What you do is you use whipped cream. Because it's not aerated enough for you to breathe, but it's too light for you to tread water, so you'll sink, or the person will sink and drown in whipped cream.
Wow, and it's funny. It's fun and funny, isn't it, as well? So
yeah.
I was going to ask you a question, and that's when you're writing for television and you have to be original with your jokes and your content and stuff. Do you feel like you have to watch as much as you can of other programs so that you're not accidentally doing something that's already been done? Or do you feel like you don't want to watch other programs in case you're subconsciously writing the similar or same sorts of jokes and things?
I used to have a spell when I tried to watch the first episode of every new sitcom just to know what it was like. But then I quickly realized that even that is tricky nowadays. There's so much about. So I don't watch a lot of comedy on TV when I'm writing, I suppose. And also, I kind of think if you write a joke for a thing, that's going to go through a producer and another producer and the cast. And by the time it gets to the screen, 20, 30 people will have seen it. And if it's from somewhere else that I've accidentally absorbed, one of those people will hopefully spot it. Although on one occasion, it's only happened once, where I was working on sitcoms at the same time. After You've Gone, which was Nicholas Lyndhurst's short-lived sitcom about 15 years ago, and Not Going Out, which of course is still on go. And I accidentally wrote the same joke for both shows. And it's very rare that would be appropriate, but there were two episodes. I think both had something about a football and a kid. And I don't know, the stars aligned that there was a line that worked for both shows. And I thought, you submit a joke and the odds are it won't make it. But both jokes were still in it. And I sort of realized quite late in the process, I thought, I can't tell the producer now that I need the joke back because I've accidentally submitted it somewhere else. And they were both in the record. I went to the recordings of both and they were both still in the recordings. And I just hoped and prayed that one of them would cut it out before the night, because then I'd got the Radio Times and I saw both episodes were on the same night. BBC One, Friday, 8:30 to 9 was After You've Gone, 9:30 till 10 was Not Going Out. And I thought, and of course, no one was working on both shows apart from me, so no one would have known. The head of BBC One doesn't watch all the sitcoms in advance. So just thought, I'm the only one who knows that actually potentially several million people could sit down on BBC One and just have this sense of deja vu that Lee Mack says something that Nicholas Lyndhurst said an hour beforehand. and thankfully, both shows cut it out in the end, so it wasn't right. But yeah, it was there right up until the last moment. And
such a good joke that made it all the way to the final recording. It
was like 85%.
Not the final edit, both times.
Yeah, but not quite good enough. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That could have been the best callback ever.
It would have been weird. It would have been very. I just love the fact that several million people would have all looked at each other like, that was on an hour ago, wasn't it? That's weird.
That's so funny. You should, as you get older and more carefree with your writing, you should maybe set yourself out to do that on purpose. See how many programs you can get the same joke into.
Same joke, yeah.
You can do your trademark, your sort of catchphrase. Thank fiction, just get it in there.
Get a different character in each sitcom that's out to have exactly the same catchphrase. So that catchphrase just shows up with different characters in different sitcoms.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice. You could almost, a comedy writer, you could write your own eulogy over the course of your career by having each character say the line that you can then stitch it together at the end of the, the funeral service. Sorry, that got a bit bleak very quickly, but you know what I mean.
What are your last words on your deathbed? Any final things to say? No, just go back and watch my entire collected works and you'll figure it
exactly. If you could add these particular time codes, very important.
Of course, if you watch some TV series, all the characters end up saying all the same things, which is just lazy. So I don't think that's not you.
Very true. That's not me.
I hate those shows.
That was a great question and a great answer. I really enjoyed both of those.
I think
I've
that's all
got
you
another
need then.
one.
Oh yeah,
I've
go
got
on.
another question.
It won't be as good, but you can try it.
Who's the easiest person to work with, or the person that you click with the most?
You guys. You
Hey.
five here. You guys.
Wow. Why have we not worked together before? Huh?
It's been building to this moment. I planned the entire pandemic for this glorious moment.
Are we about to do a
You are
football
a
joke you don't realise we're going to do?
So who's easiest to work? I don't know. They're all pretty monstrous. No, they're all lovely in different ways. I can't possibly say because I want to work with them all again, and they're all going to watch this.
We're not saying
Who
who's
would
the
you
worst
not
person
ever
to work
work with ever again?
Who will I not work with ever again? Who I can tell you? Who will I definitely not work with ever again? Well, Matt, I enjoyed. Sorry for the clang of names. I enjoyed working with Matt LeBlanc, but there's no way I'll ever work with him again. So I could gladly say, Matt LeBlanc, there you go. He was the most horrible person to work
Why?
with. Well, no, he was lovely. That's the thing. There's nothing bad to say.
2 degrees away from, or 3 degrees away from Matt Blanc, so you can't say that. In fact, you work with lots of people that are like that know everybody. So I don't know how. Yeah.
You probably knew Fred Armisen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we go away. Me and the Fredster. Yeah.
At least 5 degrees.
He's here now.
Oh, he's
No, you
massively
can't come on again, Fred. We've done you.
Yeah.
Can you tell him?
He's just over there perusing the Christmas books.
Yeah, he is.
He's got all the Christmas decorations down. And it's like, do you want to know? I've pretended they're still in the loft.
Hey, Paul. Yes, I've just been watching, and I've been looking through your Christmas decorations, and I would say now is the time to kind of organize them a little bit. You have the time.
He's up in the exactly. He's sorting all that.
I'm gonna ask Paul this year. How did doing Spring Harvest compare to doing it live?
The commute was easier, but that's about it. Everything else was. I mean, we started. I don't know how many minutes late. 20 minutes late because of the technology. Because I've now started doing a Tuesday evening show, which again, like we're 4 episodes in now. And I think by episode 3, I worked out how to make the technology actually work smoothly. So it does feel like this brave new world that we're sort of in. So it just took, unfortunately, a Spring Harvest comedy set to puzzle out like how do you live stream and all this sort of thing. So, but what I did enjoy was the chat thing was nice. You could respond to the chat, and that was good in a way that normally in a show you don't encourage quite so much heckling at once. But it was, so it was all right. But and in fact, my house is equally far to the mile from Spring Harvest Minehead and Spring Harvest Skegness. So in terms, they're both utterly impossible to get to. I think 364 miles each. So either way, yes, there were no trains, there were nothing. It was a very easy walk.
What are those episodes like? How are you finding trying to keep an energy, do an energy, do
energy,
do it? Yeah. How are you doing it?
Well, the serious answer is I swiftly discovered for me personally that stand-up being somewhat tricky to adapt to this sort of medium. Jokes working less well. I found them stories are quite good. But again, I don't want to just do... Here's another anecdote from my checkered career. So I quickly found... Well, a friend of mine said it's more like a radio show. You just got to plan in enough items as if you were presenting a radio show. So you could have a quiz, a competition, a funny story, an observation, But in the same way that jokes don't really work on the radio because there's no live feedback to get, you just got to plan in a few, like, okay, I'll probably tell that story. I might do this little thing I spotted this week, little bit of observational comedy. Maybe have a quiz or a game, whatever, silly stuff. But without, of course, you can't throw to a song. In that sense, I suppose I found it for me anyway, easiest to plan it like that. Plan it like a radio show, and every 5 minutes to try and move it on to the next thing. And that way, after half an hour, you think we've done 6 things, and we always overrun, but that's the way of it. So, it's just finding the new normal that we're all hating saying.
You've just reminded me of two bits that I wanted to put in this one. One was Dan had his one of his airsoft guns accepted into a American YouTube review where they totally what do you call it?
Roast your build.
All right, next submission is from Dan Cawley, and wow, that's a gun right there. That you have a Scorpion Evo with this iron sight right here. That, you know, the ones that I think you get off a Wish for like $15 and wait 3 months to get. You had a nice front end kit, and then you hydro dipped it the leopard pattern from Black Ops 1.
Dan Cowley, like, why would you do that to CZ, like a Scorpion at all? Like, it looks like straight trash, like garbage. I know you don't take this out on the field because you'll be spotted in 2.5 seconds. This piece of garbage, it deserves to be on here. It deserves it. But like, why would you even do that? What fashion contest you thought this was? This is not the NBA. Only NBA players can wear leopard skin and be out here. You can't do that. You can't.
Whoa!
My gosh.
Yeah.
Thank fiction.
It's like the guns Scary Spice would have used in the 90s.
Yeah. That's what I'm.
The Spice Girls were in America. We're an American pop group.
Now that is Scary Spice.
Legally, you must have a gun in all music videos. Yeah.
I got the worst one for the thing, so I won a voucher for some airsoft shop in America that I probably can never use, but $100 worth of voucher. So
my stepsister's been doing have you seen people doing the different colours of the rainbow each day and just wearing as many colours of that colour that they can? Have you
No,
seen
'cause
that?
I've been inside the whole time.
Oh, okay. So my stepsister's been doing it. She's up to blue now, and honestly, it's hilarious. So I'm just going to show you some of those pictures now.
Thanks for the education.
Oh, she's so crazy.
Blue.
Oh dear.
Colours.
So
Blue.
when you have something to write for, rather than writing for yourself, does that make you feel more pressured, and is that harder, or do you not feel there's a difference?
It's harder, I suppose, to a degree, but there's more pressure is what I was going to say. I don't think it's harder as such. I always find that whatever, for me personally, there's always the thing I want to write, which is the thing for me, and there's the thing that I sort of have to write because someone's paying you to do it, hopefully. At the minute, that's not happened, so I'm writing the thing for me. So I'm writing the novel or the TV pilot script or whichever I feel like that day. But there's less pressure for that. No one's paying you. There's no deadline. So you sometimes need someone to just tell you to do a thing. And if you don't do it by this date, we're not going to pay you. Then you do the thing. So you need a bit of pressure sometimes, don't you? If not, you've got to manufacture it yourself. And Manufactured Pressure, they were a terrible band.
And what's your work like motivation like? Like, do you set yourself an amount of time each day that you have to write for, or?
In an ideal world, yes. We are not in an ideal world currently, all happening for a little while. So it's homeschooling at the minute, and I, in theory, set the kids up to do some of their stuff and then maybe get a bit of work done. I normally get a couple of hours maybe done in the afternoon when my wife takes over for things, and then when everyone goes to bed. So in a minute, I'm going to go and watch Downton Abbey with the missus and with a bottle of crisps, and then she'll go to bed. And then I'll probably write for an hour and a half, something like that. And because the house is quiet, the emails don't come in. Then that's the novel writing time.
Yeah, that's when I like to do creative stuff, is like after it's bedtime for some reason. I'm so glad you're watching Downton Abbey, because I think when we saw you in January, we recommended it because it's got a lot of humour in it, and it's a drama. It's so good, isn't it?
I've never seen it before, but we thought it's cozy. It's what we need to watch now. And then a couple of weeks ago, just when we had that really tough day and it was A&E, and it was chaos and health stuff. And we sat down and enjoyed the Spanish flu episode. Oh, it was lovely.
Lovely.
Great writing, that show. Can't remember how we finished this. We haven't done it for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
We just waved like the end of a sitcom. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's blankety blank.
Yeah. I have one final question, Paul, is how do you think this is going to change future writing of sitcoms or whatever based on
this podcast?
This specific question now, how is this question going to change you?
Deeply, on a very deep level. Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. And I mean, at the minute, for writing for a while, I've only been to a couple of writers' rooms. Mostly it's all remote anyway. So in that sense, we just keep doing remote writing in that sense. My only question is what it's going to be. What are we writing about? You know, kind of, do we need to reference all of this kind of stuff? Because you're watching TV at the minute, and anything that's made before now, and people aren't social distancing and all that, just looks weird. So I don't know. After, you know, are we going to have to start? It? Yeah, exactly. So, So we looked at actually doing a not going out episode based sort of around now, but we didn't quite. I think no one could quite work out how topical to make it and what will get old very quickly. But I think it looks like all this stuff could be here for a year or two. So do we making stuff about people standing 2 meters apart? I don't know. I mean, if you're writing a soap opera, I know that Corrie and EastEnders, they're doing that at the minute. They're writing stuff as if their characters are doing it now. And because the actors have to socially distance, the characters are too. So if you're making stuff that will be seen in the next six months or a year, I guess that's what you need to be writing. But I think, be nice beyond this and just write about normal things again, wouldn't it?
I think what we've found out by everyone having to do this is certain technical challenges. I was watching a film yesterday. It finished with a lovely video call. I'm not going to say which one it is because I'm going to spoil the ending. Right at the end, 2 of the people on the video call were in the same room joking about the fact that actually they were together but pretending they weren't. And all I thought was, but they'd just be getting loads of feedback if they were all in the same.
Yeah, because that's why Dan and I have to do
work. That's why you guys have to be in different rooms when you're
different wings of the house. Yeah,
that's why Dan's on the North Pole.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been lovely seeing you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much, PK. Was that your idea for Miranda?
No, I wish it was. I could trademark it. I think we have to end with thank fiction, don't we? That's probably the
thank fiction.
Thank
And
fiction.
Thank fact. Thank fiction.
Thank fact. I don't know what to do now.
Let's form factions over whether we like fact or fiction.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank faction.
Thank fictoids.
Bye, Andy.
Well done, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Loving your work. Bye.
Ciao, folks.
Just so you know, it doesn't stop recording till we leave.
Okay.
So.
Bye.
Go away.
Bye.
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 I've had such a brilliant time.